had my CHR for just over a year now. It's a hybrid one, as you can see hybrid there. And I'm just going to talk about some of the things I don't like on it. Overall, I think it's a really nice car. I've had it for over a year, and my dad liked my one so much that he bought one himself as well. So on the whole, it's a great car, but nothing is perfect, and I'm just going to talk about some of the things that could be improved upon this car. So one of the reasons why I got the CHR here over a normal saloon car like my dad's Mercedes at the back is because I wanted good ground clearance. Toyota claims that this car has about 15 centimeters of ground clearance, but this mudguard here is the lowest part of the car. And as you can see, this thing is stuck in the dirt, and it comes up to around 13.5 centimeters there. If it was on solid concrete, I think it would be around 13 centimeters of ground clearance, which is quite low for a car that's named High Rider. I think that if Toyota raised it up to maybe about 16 centimeters of real ground clearance and not have the mudguard so low, I think that the car would be a lot better than what it is. And I wouldn't. Sometimes, like I'm driving around and I hear scratching across the ground, and you can see this wrap here. Just show you here. Like when I take it off here. If I take it off here, it's not even that low, and you hear it goes scratches across the floor. So I'm reversing that here, and look, the ground's not too low, and listen to the click. You hear that? Look, it's going to scrape underneath. You hear that? It goes. So as you can see in this video, my dad's mudguard has been ripped out. Because he must have gone into a hole or something. He thought the car had more ground clearance than it did, so he needs to get this refitted. So he's going to get that done soon. But as I said, it should ride higher than what it does. Its rear windows for the passengers are bad, and also the driver as well. And it has these really thick pillars, so if you're pulling out of junctions and stuff, it can be quite difficult to see what's behind you. You need to use your wing mirrors. And I can imagine it being quite hard for learners to drive this car, because it can feel like you're driving a van sometimes. I'm an experienced driver, so it's not too bad for me, but if you're a learner, I can imagine this car being very difficult. And that's why they have a reverse camera standard on this car, because if you didn't have it, it'd be really, really difficult reversing this car, because you can't really see what the hell's behind you. So Toyota should definitely improve the rear window visibility. And I can understand why they've done it. It's because this car's called Coupe High Rider. It's called Coupe. They want a coupe design. So it looks like a coupe, but I would rather have practicality over design. As you can see, this car doesn't have a sunroof or a panoramic roof, and there's no option to get it either. I think that having a panoramic roof in this car, or moon roof as they say in America, would improve the car a lot. As the windows are so small in the back, it would let a lot more light into the car if you could have a glass roof. These touch buttons here, they can be quite slow to respond. You press it and it's just so laggy. I think it'd be much better if it could have a volume adjust knob you have here, and just turn it up and down really quickly, an analog knob. It'd be a lot better. But these touch buttons are not responsive at all. It does have it on the steering wheel, and these are a lot more responsive, these buttons here, but this just feels so slow and laggy. You can't organize your music by folders. So for example, say you have two folders, one's Bob Marley, another one is Coldplay. If you put it on a USB stick, it'll just play music randomly from both folders. So one song it'll play Bob Marley, next song it'll play Coldplay, and it'll just be random. But in every single car I've had before, you can always organize your music by folders. So here's how the infotainment system works in the Mercedes. You select the controller, then you've got folder you can select from, and then USB storage, and then you select the folder you want to play. So for example, I want to play Bob Marley, and once I select one of these tracks here, it'll just keep playing all the music from this folder. It won't select music randomly from different folders. This is a much better system. I don't know why Toyota can't make the car play music by folders. I could do it on a much older Volkswagen as well. I had a 2011 Volkswagen that could do it as well. How comes in 2019 my dad's Toyota CHR is a 2019 model, and it still can't play music by folder? So Toyota need to sort it out. This is ridiculous. I think this car could be improved a lot if they put a bigger battery in it as well. I find the battery gets depleted too quickly. It only has about a couple of kilometers on it before it runs out totally. And also, I live at the top of a hill, and when I'm halfway down the hill, say my battery's like nearly completely finished at the top of the hill, and when I'm halfway down the hill, it's fully charged again, and so I'm going down the hill, and I could be charging the battery even more when I get right down to the bottom. And I live in a place with lots of hills, and my battery is fully charged a lot of the times. So I think that I could store more energy if they had a bigger battery in it. So if they put a bigger battery in it, they could also put a better electric motor in this car as well. The electric motor seems to be a bit underpowered because when it's okay around the car park or if you get up to speed, but say if you're at the traffic lights and you accelerate a little bit, it goes straight to the petrol motor. So if it had a more powerful electric motor and a bigger battery, I think that would be great as well. In this car, there's no easy way to access sport mode or eco mode or normal driving mode by pressing a button. You have to go into the car menu, so you need to mess about with these controls here and then go into various menus and then put it on eco mode or sport mode or driving mode. And for older people like my dad, he can't even go into the menus, he doesn't know how to do it at all. And I'm a computer programmer, I can do it, but it can be a bit of a pain for me as well. Like sometimes you just want to press a button and go into sport mode, and when you've travelled where you want to go, you want to come back not in a hurry, you just want to put it in eco mode. There should be a button to just change it to what you want to do, you know. So I think that Toyota could improve this car by putting a button to sport mode, eco mode, and just so you can cycle through it. And the Mercedes next to me, you can do it easily on that car. Toyota should have done it on this car as well. I find the parking sensors on this car a bit slow to respond. Sometimes if someone walks past me on my left and they've moved out the way and it's still going and I'm thinking, are they still there? You know, is there something below the car that I'm not seeing and I have to stick my head out the window to see what's going on, you know? When sometimes, like if I'm pulling out a junction and someone just drives past me slightly on my side, also it'll start going like that, and I'm thinking, that car's long gone, why is it still bleeping? So I think that Toyota should upgrade their parking sensors and put decent parking sensors on the car. The Mercedes next to me has much better parking sensors than this one. It's a lot faster to update and know that the object that was on your side has gone. So yeah, should definitely update the parking sensors to better quality ones. My dad seems to think that this car's underpowered. It's 122 horsepower, and I think it's 100 from the petrol engine, which is a bit weak for a 1.8 if you think about it. But at the same time, this car's built for economy, it's not built for speed. But if they could improve the horsepower just a little bit, I think it would improve the car. Sometimes when you go up the hill, it can feel a bit sluggish if it's a steep hill. For those kind of times, it would be good to have a little bit more horsepower. So if they could squeeze a little bit more horsepower and not hurt the economy too much, that would be good. There's no height adjust for the passenger seat, which I think is a bit cheap really. They should have put height adjust for the passengers as well. I'm borderline 6'3", which is 190 centimeters tall, and as you can see, my head touches the ceiling if I sit up straight. But if I put my seat back a little bit, it's a little bit more comfortable for me. But the people in the back, they won't be too comfortable at all if I'm sitting in the passenger seat with my seat back a little bit. So I think they should have put a height adjust for the passengers, so it'd be a lot more comfortable for taller people like myself. Now as you can see, in the back seat here, because I'm a tall person, my head touches the roof if I sit up straight. If I slouch, it's not too bad, but if they could make the roof a little bit taller in the back, I think that would be a good improvement as well. In most cars, I find them a bit small in the back, but there are a few cars out there that are really comfortable. Hopefully Toyota can make it a little bit bigger in the back here, and so it'd be better for taller passengers. The reverse camera is just above the rear number plate on the Toyota CHR, and this camera doesn't go into the car, it always stays outside the car, and this thing gets really filthy when the road's wet and muddy, and this gets all covered in mud and stuff, and when you put the car in reverse you can hardly see anything. Now on the Mercedes, the camera is here also above the number plate, but when you put it in reverse this thing pops out. Put it in reverse, see it comes out. Take it out of reverse, put it in park, see it goes back. So this thing doesn't get covered in dirt like the Toyota. It's a much better design. To wrap this video up, those are some of the some of the improvements I think that Toyota could hopefully bring to the new generation of the car. On the whole, I think this car's very nice. I've had it for over a year now, and it's been a great car. I prefer it than my dad's C-Class Mercedes. This car is more economical than the diesel Mercedes behind me. It's more comfortable to sit in as well. It's easier to get in and out as well, because the seat is high, the seating position is higher. When you're getting a Mercedes, it's like you're sitting right on the floor. So there's a lot of stuff I prefer about this car, which is cheaper than the Mercedes. And yeah, so on the whole, this is a nice car, but nothing is perfect in life. Those are some of the faults I found, or problems I found with the car. Hopefully Toyota can see this video and bring some improvements to the new generation of the CHR. So thanks for watching, and I wish everyone the best. Bye bye.